The use of the vendors is key here. Like I said at the beginning, we do a lot of design build here at Darco. It's something that we're passionate about. My wife is passionate about. I'm passionate about. I'm down to earth. We're very transparent in the process. Typical client come to us and say, "Hey, Darwin, I want to build this custom home, and this is a big custom home. It's 5,000, 6,000 square foot home here in the Silicon Valley that will cost $4 or $5 million, and I want it to be done right." So when we start designing, we use the vendors. If you have questions about this, feel free to contact me directly. I'm super passionate about this, and the reason is because the use of the vendors will give you the information that you need so your plans are complete. Your plans cannot be complete if you don't have vendors information. All you're doing is just setting up your general contractor for failure. And the reason why I say this is because we've failed in the past. We've done projects where, architects, they just drafted plans. It's not the architect's fault. It's sometimes the client. They don't want to spend the money in having an interior designer come up with all the details, all the references, all the vendors, so the GC can do a budget accordingly. So what happens is when you start developing your plans, you basically contact your vendor. So you're not going to start designing a house if you don't have windows, right? You need windows, you need doors, you need kitchen cabinetry, you need appliances, you need flooring, you need, all the plumbing fixtures and electrical fixtures. Guess what? Every single one of those I just mentioned have requirements. For example, appliances. We're installing a project right now, finishing up beautiful custom home. It's going to come up with my social media here in about a couple weeks. We didn't have interior designing at the beginning, which was a hassle. But ultimately what we did is that we, since we're doing it in-house, I said to the client, "Hey, let's collaborate on this. I'm not going to charge you any fee for this, but I will step in and try to do this because I want to get this right for you." Basically, this client is a developer. This is not the first house she's going to build with me. So I put in a little extra mile to get it done. So she got an appliance package that wasn't coordinated with the structural of the project. So this is a high-end package. I'm not gonna say the brand, but it's a high-end package. Typical higher end brands. So when it comes to appliances, they come with certain requirements for power, for water, for drainage. If those are not coordinated with the structural, guess what? Maybe that appliance is against a shear wall. And if you're a knowledgeable builder out there, you know that penetrations on shear walls are very minimal. You cannot make some. And there are architectural details that tell you what type of penetration can you do, or the width of it, or how the span is going to be. So we ended up in that situation where most of our appliances were on concrete walls. Basically, the foundation was risen a little bit on the exterior of the house. And we ended up chipping concrete. Obviously I had to charge her for it. But again, if you would have done this before, we wouldn't have to chip concrete, or we didn't have to reframe a wall, or we didn't have to demo drywall because the plug was in the wrong location. So sure, it was a little bit of confusion on our end at the beginning, but like I said, I've failed before. I'm not going to say here that I haven't. And by failing, you learn, right? So one of the things I'm learning, and the reason why I started the podcast, is because I want to just pass this information to people that I feel is going to be valuable. I feel like there's a lot of builders out there trying to make it. I've experienced it myself. I've spoken with people. I speak to people on a daily basis, that they're struggling. And sometimes they struggle because they don't have a structure. They don't have a structure within their company because they don't know, or they don't have the time. Most of it because they don't have the time. They're busy. They're running errands to go pick up materials. They're doing, they're being a father, being a mother, or simply they're also, working on the field and then running to the house at night late, tired, to create estimates. And then at the end of the day, it's midnight of the next day, or 1 a.m. of the next day, and by 5 a.m. they're back up and running, and same cycle, right? So a couple of things that I would like to say before I finish this first episode is basically use technology, do pre-construction, talk with your homeowner, talk to your client, learn your project, read the plans, make sure you write those RFIs, make sure the client approves those materials that you're going to install. And the reason why I say that also is because if you don't have an interior designer on the job, which we're not doing anymore, every single job we're doing, we are absolutely hiring, or the client is hiring an interior design. We have it in-house, and it's easy for me to say, okay, Darwin, I guess what? I have a question, but we can answer that question internally because we designed the job. So, and I know in most cases and for most builders, you don't have that ability. And I feel for you, man. I've been there. We've lost tons of money, trying to figure out things, because we don't have enough information. So talk to your client, talk to your architect, talk to your interior design on a daily basis. Make sure you answer the questions that you need. You ask the questions so your design team can answer them for you.